All right, so another topic that we get asked quite often is what about business? Now, I'm bringing that up because we've talked about the girls in the previous episode and how the jerks seem to get all the good girls. There's another mistaken thing that happens with guys, and we can think that the greedy guys get all the money. You know why? Because we've seen it time and time again. The guys who are willing to push anybody out of the room, negotiate the hardest, drill people down, that's what it's like. I'm going to tell you something today. I've told my kids this. There are two ways for you to get rich or to get wealthy, okay? So if you're trying to gain wealth, I'm going to tell you there's two ways to do it. The first way is through greed. That is a way. You can actually get it. The problem is you got to live with yourself. And I don't want to mention names, but I can tell you up close and personal of a number of people who took that path and had a hard time sleeping at night. They hated themselves. They began to hate everyone around them, and they were the bitter old men that you hear about. They're real. They're real because that's where greed takes you. Your second approach is through generosity. Now, I call it responsible generosity, but don't mistake me. Generosity is painful sometimes. These are the guys who just think all the time, you know what? I'm going to bless people. I want to make the world a better place. I want to enrich lives, and I'm not afraid. I know, here's the key, I'm confident in my ability to make more money. They find joy in giving. Now, I lived in Hawaii for several years, and I had two friends of mine who worked at a very well-known resort where billionaires came, and tech titans actually had their houses at this resort. I'm not going to name names, but one of them is very famous. Books and movies written on this guy, and he was a jerk. I'm telling you something. My friend took his bags up, left his bags for him in his room, and the guy turned around and looked at him and said, if you're waiting for a tip, get out of here because there is no tip. This guy was wealthy beyond words. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. And that's the way he wanted to live his life. And he died a very bitter old man. Another guy at the same resort at the same time also started a tech company. This guy, whenever he found out that somebody's mom was sick with cancer or something was happening, he actually would give them a $2,000 gift card. At Christmas, every year, everyone in the resort got a huge gift card from him. The other guy, zilch. Now, let me ask you something, because I want you to think about this. You have a person of greed, or you can have a person of generosity. Which one do you want to be? Now, the question goes back to our original discussion that we had in our very first video, and that is, are you going to be a protector or are you going to be a predator? The spirit of greed, that is rooted in predatorial behavior. The spirit of generosity is rooted in generous behavior. So here's my advice to you. Find a way to make the wealth. I'm not talking about being stupid. I go into negotiations, man, I'm going to get everything I can out of the negotiation. Of course I am. That's good business. I won't do it, though, at the expense of somebody else, meaning that they walk out losing badly. I won't make them bitter, and I'm not going to steal things from other people. Man, I'm telling you, I've seen this so many times in business. That will come back to haunt you. These are just basic character things 101, but we've lost them. And when I'm building technology, I'm building it in a way that's responsible for the people that are on the platform because I'm a protector. This is a big, big thing. I'm in the tech industry, and I'm telling you something right now. All we're seeing about data and the exploitation of data, you know where that comes from, man? It's coming from predatorial, greedy behavior. We need leaders today who are not afraid to be generous leaders and be protectors, be real men. Be one of those. I just encourage you to do that today. Think about it in your own life. Think about it in your finances. Are you being generous? Have you found a way to be generous to other people? It's the greatest joy. I guarantee you, you won't regret it. Wish you the best.